Good morning, Ridge Records Fantasy Football League. Welcome to Week 11's recap video. I don't have enough fingers for that, so you're just going to have to remember which week it is. What a great week. As you see, I'm here in my home office because there's children around. And great time to talk about our disclaimer. If you are a child, or a future employer, or a coworker, or my current employer, just stop watching the video now. This is a comedy. So if you don't like what I have to say, too bad. Freedom of speech and all that. And the views expressed herein are not necessarily my own, nor are they actually serious. So anything I say must be taken with a grain of salt, a sliver of doubt, and if you don't like it, just pretend like I'm kidding. That being said, let's get right into it because it was a very exciting week, and man, am I excited for the upcoming Week 12 matchups. As I mentioned, I am super excited about Week 11's results and the matchups coming in Week 12. In case you can't tell, the cold front has hit us here at home, so I'm chilly in the office, which is why I'm all wrapped up, and I did the turkey trot this morning. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, unless you're in this league, in which case I hope you roast in hell. That was probably a little harsh. Anyway, getting right into it, we're going to save the game of the week and the big loss to be talked about for the end. Raider Nation fell to the Gender Unicorn 86 to 120 points. Gender Unicorn coming on strong in the second half of the season. A lot to be said there about wokeness and their sexual identity, but we're just going to leave it alone. Bayside Tigers fell to the Booty Lickers 106 to 143 points. That game had big implications for the standings. Hopefully the Bayside Tigers can get it turned around in the next couple of weeks, or they may be out of the winner's bracket. That'd be a tough show for the first season. Jags barely lost to Suckadick 108 to 116 points, wishing that game had gone the other direction. But it was a valiant effort by Jags going up against number one and winner of 9 in a row, Team Suckadick. So that's got to get the golf clap. Nuttin' Butt Sacks beat up on Missing My Young Ho 103 to 73 points. No one cares about that game, though. All right, so let's talk about Game of the Week first, because it's less important than what I want to talk about last. Roster Baiters put up 124 points, which was good enough to beat the majority of teams this week, all except for one, actually. So good effort by them. Unfortunately, yours truly, the media, put up 183.82 points. That represents the league's highest score of the week, and one I'm very proud of because I am the media, and we're all about self-promotion. Yeah. So that being said, the media spanked up on Roster Baiters, and huge points for, which has implications in the standings. Now what we've all been waiting for. Really the pseudo game of the week. And if you paid attention to last week's video, the one that I said I was rooting for, Social Justice Warrior defeats Championships for Miles 91 to 84 points. That has massive implications in the standings, huge ramifications for the shit talking, and finally we find Championships for Miles in the position we all know they belong. So to Social Justice Warrior for their amazing effort this week. Good job. Excuse me. With all that being said, and much ado about nothing, let's get into the standings. As I mentioned, Team Suckadick still remains in first place after winning 9 in a row. That's impressive. That's consistent effort by their manager and team owner, Mrs. Suckadick. We have nothing but props for her. Nuttin' Butt Sacks still holding on to second place. The media moving up into third place with that huge win this week and massive points for. Bayside Tigers in fourth. Roster Baiters still barely holding on to fifth place. And Jags rounding out the winner's bracket in sixth. Raider Nation leads the losers in seventh. Booty Lickers in eighth. Missing My Young Hoes in ninth. Gender Unicorn crawling to 10th. Social Justice Warrior in 11th place, leaving Championships for Miles in the caboose position of last place. Now, there are only 2 weeks left in the regular season, The regular season standings mean very little except for shit talking. No one can remember regular season standings ever. And honestly, this league, we barely remember who won last season. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get right into Week 12's matchups. All right, that being said, let's talk about Week 12 matchups. You've got Suck a Dick going up against the media in the game of the week, again highlighting the media's stellar performance, and they are going for 4 wins in a row, trying to knock off the current number 1 place Team Suck a Dick, who, as I mentioned, has won 9 in a row. It's going to be a tough matchup for Team the Media, but I think they're up for it. Raider Nation plays championships for miles in a no one gives a shit game. Booty Lickers goes up against Gender Unicorn, in which I hope to see much more shit talking than I currently witness, considering those two morons. Missing My Young Ho plays Bayside Tigers in another matchup that no one cares. Nut and Sacks plays Jax Jags in what should be an idiot bowl also. And Social Justice Warrior plays the Roster Baiters in what should be an easy walk-off win for the Roster Baiters. That being said, as we get to the end of the regular season, teams have to be concerned with who's getting benched for rest weeks, considering they are locked for the playoffs. Something to consider for the team owners. Also, if you're paying attention, trade deadline is very soon and imminent, and I'm sure our assistant commissioner will post something about that. I'm winking at you in case you can't tell. I can do the other eye too, but yeah, not nearly as good. That being said, let's get to really what everybody wants to hear on this week's recap video, which is the comments, and there are some stellar ones coming at your ear holes. All right, I talked to both owners for Jax Jags and Team Suckadicka prior to the Monday night game because it was a close matchup going into Monday night. Team Suckadicka ended up being victorious, being led primarily by Tampa Bay's defense, who put up big numbers. Needless to say, both team owners had comments. Neither of them were worthy. And obviously, Team Suckadicka had a better message to their team and motivated them to victory. That being said, Team Jax Jag better step it up this week, or they're going to be strongly in the losers bracket, somewhere in the 9th, 10th position overall, which means nothing. So step it up. Next, I spoke with the team owner of Social Justice Warrior about their huge victory over the commissioner. As expected, this is what they had to say. Nothing makes me happier than seeing Dynasty in last place. You and me both, brother. We got that win this week for the league. Social Justice Warriors and Gender Unicorn hit the league with a united front this week and delivered wokeness all around. Yes, you did. And just like the NFL, I'm pandering to wokeness too, and don't really give a shit about anything else except being accepted by social media morons. Yeah. Team owner of championships for miles pending a team name had this to say in response. Unlike all the wokeism of today, I, as team owner, take responsibility when winning and losing. While it's disappointing we didn't have the right pieces to win another championship this season, we will not rest on striving to win our next one and to add to our impressive total number of championships. That all said, unlike the Washington football team, we will never cave to the woke mob nor change our team name that we've rightfully earned after owning you punks for years. The name Championships for Miles and the Ridge's only dynasty ever will stay even though y'all try. You can't wish away facts. I will not give in nor be bullied by the likes of Dr. Fauci's drug peddler, fraudulent, the disbarred law practice of voluntary ass lickers, and definitely not you, the fake news media. Pretty sure I take offense to that. Lastly, to you, the media, in your disgusting attempt to smear me, you mouthed off to my wife, "Why would you stay with such a bum?" When we got in the car, she asked me, "How many times has he won the league?" And I laughed and said, "None." And she turned to me, laughed, and said, "Fitting, just like the media, he is a delusional loser." Pound truth bombs. Does your wife know that you're in last place and that you're about to bring home the loser's trophy? I'm about to send her the link to this video just so she can see this. But well said to Mrs. Championships for Miles. Winning is all that matters. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with a comment from the team owner of the Booty Lickers, who is a sponsor of Booty Lickers and Associates Esquire for this news station. It's only fitting they get to go last. Spirits are riding high in the compound today. In spite of my protests and advances, Miss Booty Liquor held the line. Good for her. She withheld those beautiful, big, unvaccinated cheeks from me starting on Friday. By the time Sunday rolled around, I was borderline rabid. My daughter was skating through puddles of saliva on the kitchen floor when the 1 o'clock games kicked off. Regardless of seasonal standings, this game was a must-win. Not because of playoff implications, but because I was up against the league's newest member. While he seems to be a fine patriotic addition to the league, I simply could not go past this first matchup without knowing what his ass tasted like. By the time the 1 o'clock games concluded, I had him on all fours. With each passing quarter of the afternoon games, I spread his cheeks wider. At their conclusion, I buried my face and proceeded to eat more than I do when Thanksgiving falls on leg day. I wiped the gravy from my beard, spit out the dingleberries, and flossed the baseball cards from my teeth as my wife smiled, nodded, and made a heart sign with her hands for a job well done. Remember, L is for love. And with that, I'm going to leave you to today's games, today's festivities, and please, have a beautiful, wonderful, lovely Thanksgiving. Remember, family sucks. Fantasy football is all that matters. So set your rosters, get in there and win this week, and talk some shit. Also, drink some beer. As what you can tell, I've already had a couple. Have a great week.